What is going on, dickheads? My name is Onesie Swagnet, and I'm here today
No, you're
not. No.
What?
No, I'm not having you today, Swagnet. You're not recording this. I'm sorry, but you're not doing another one of these. The last one you did was so stupid. You're not doing another one, so get out my room. What the fuck is your problem, dickhead? You asked me to do the last one. No, I asked you to record a draft analysis. What you did was ended up talking about Meth and Greg's. I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent, but Greg's and Meth needed to be spoke about. Yeah, and so did the team that I drafted. I needed a draft analysis, not an introduction to Swagnet. Just leave.
What are you talking?
I don't want you in the room anymore.
What?
Just go. I swear to God, if you kick me out of this room, I will come back and I will fuck you up,
Yeah,
dickhead.
well,
I don't believe you. So just let me do my thing, please. I'll bring you back in to do one of the matches at one point.
Really?
Maybe. Okay, I will take you up on this, but I'm having the rest of the ice cream in the freezer. Okay? Dickhead. Anyway, now that he's gone, how's it going, guys? My name is Onesie Bennett, and welcome back to my PPL Division 1 Season 4 draft analysis for... We are no longer AS Monferno. We have managed to shrug off the chains and the curse that is AS Monferno, and we are now repping a team name that is so sweet and so amazing. And it means a lot to me. Basically, we are now Birmingham Spritzee. Yeah, we are Birmingham Spritzee. I'm now repping my hometown. We are now repping my hometown, the place I was born in, the place I currently live, and the place that I will probably be living after I finish uni. But we are now repping Birmingham for the PPL, and I'm so happy to actually have a team name that kind of means something to me, because I love this city sometimes and I hate it other times, but I would still be very passionate for it. I mean, why not? But yeah, PPL Division 1 Season 4 is finally here, and quite frankly, I've been looking forward to this for so goddamn long. Like, you have no idea. Ever since TBU, like, ever since about week 5 of TBU, where it was kind of determined that I couldn't get playoffs at all, and I knew that my season was over, I was like, right, I just need PPL to come back, because this is my area, this is my turf. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try and have a good season this season. I don't expect us to win the title. I want us to, really do, and I'm gonna be trying to, but I don't expect us to. But I think we can. Don't expect us to, but I think we can. So whatever happens here, I just want us to go out and enjoy using this team I've made. I want to at least pick up a couple of wins. As long as I can get a couple of wins, I'll be fine, but I want us to try and win as much as we can. Anyway. Obviously, we've got some new faces in, and we've got some old faces. The returning faces being Schady in the Bayern Munich. Lovely guy. Very, very good battler. Despite what people say about him, he's an absolute force. Who else have we got? We got NecroStevo in the Eternal City Enders returning for another season. We have UnderTheRadar in the Maryland Terrapins. Kelly, an absolute beast. And yeah, we have Foofoo and Newcastle United. Foo, an absolute badass, and we kind of derailed his season last season by beating him right when he was on the cusp of the title, which was always fun. We have TheDonphanatic and the Norwich Skitty. Jack actually founded the league. We have the ShroomRaver and his Parasect Shemaine, the old rival Shroom. He's always beat us every time we've played him. We have Slyroh and the Pittsburgh Pyro, another one of our absolute nemesises who we've never managed to beat. Along with also NecroStevo. But the final returning we have is UnlawfulExile. So Liam has decided to join us again for another season, which is absolutely fantastic. However, we do have some newcomers into the league, and if you were keeping track on Division 2, you will know that the people who got promoted from Division 2 are Monotooi and the Tampa Bay Luxrays, who is absolutely a force. Like, the man is an absolute unstoppable train sometimes. He's great at the game. And we have PaullyMac and the Thunderbolts and Wanderers. And I love Paul. He's literally like the fan whose dream came true. He was one of the few fans we had back in Division Season 1 of the PPL. He watched every single game from every single player, and he studied us all, and he's going to be a real test. But we do have one other new entrant to the league this season, and we have the SceptileMC and San Francisco Arcaninus. Now, George is an incredible battler. He takes it very, very seriously, and that's always a good thing. He doesn't take it to the point where he wants to scream at you if you beat him, but he takes it very, very seriously, and I'm really looking forward to trying how I can do against George, because I seem to do well against really, really good people. I seem to have a good record against the top. But yeah, anyway, on to the actual draft and the draft analysis. So, the draft this season was a very, very, very strange affair, because as Birmingham Spritzee, we were given the first pick out of the entire draft, which was very, very, very fun. So which meant we were able to get whatever the heck we wanted to get. We were allowed the pick of the bunch from everything, and there was a mon that I used in TBU that I didn't use well at all. I was awful with it, even though it is apparently the most broken thing in the format. I've since changed my opinion because you need a team around it to support it. You'd think I had that, but I just didn't know what to do. I floundered, I flopped, I splashed around, and I messed around with it. But that mon was Mega Latias. However, Mega Latias is kind of banned here, so I went with the next best thing, and that's Mega Latios. Now, Mega Latios is an absolute monster. It's the more physical of the two, and since I had first pick, there was absolutely no chance in hell I could possibly get sniped with it. And you might think that would be a very strange decision for me to make, since I failed so badly with Mega Latias, that you'd think, why would he ever possibly want to go for the other one? Why would he pick the mon who's pretty much the same thing, just with a few different moves? And the reason for that is, I wasn't playing well in TBU. TBH, wow, that was awful. That was terrible. But I wasn't playing well in TBU, and that was mainly down to me not knowing what to do with Mega Latias, and just being unable to work out what set I was supposed to run with it every week. I just used to send it in as fodder. I played really, really badly with it, and I want a chance to redeem myself with Mega Latios. I want to see if I play better with Mega Latios. Now, it probably won't happen because I'm awful with the Mega Latis, apparently, but I want to at least try. I want to make sure that I do try. But yeah, we got Mega Latios, and the thing with Mega Latios that's different about Mega Latias is that it does get some really different moves. It gets Dragon Dance for one, and whereas Mega Latias is pretty much restricted to go fully special every time, Mega Latios is slightly different. It can go physical, it can go setup physical, or it can go setup special, or it can just go wall break special, or it can go or status or cleric or just support. It can do whatever it needs to do. It's a very, very versatile mon, and I feel like I should probably start playing well with it, hopefully, especially with the fact that it has a base 160 special attack stat, and a Draco is going to hurt off of that, whether it's boosted or not. But hopefully I can pull off some kind of decent usage with it this season. I don't necessarily need to be going for Dracos and Psychics and Psyshocks and all of that bullshizzle every week. So that means I'm free to do what I need to do with it, and that should mean that I can actually come up with some decent sets for this guy. But hopefully I can actually use the thing fairly well. However, since we had a wheel pick, we had to wait 2 rounds for it to come back to us. And in round 2... we were kind of screwed over on the way, because my plan from here on out was that I was going to pick Sylveon and Blaziken. Now, straight after us, after we picked Mega Latios, Schady went with Clefable, so he doesn't want a fairy. Lots of other people had gotten fairies by that point. It made its way all the way back, all the way across to NecroStevo on the other side of the draft, so it went from 1st to 12th, all the way back again in the snake, back to Newcastle United in 3rd, and right before I was going to be able to get my fairy, because Schady, who is going to be next, it was going to be Sam, Schady, me. That me, I was going to pick Sylveon. But right before I was going to have the chance to get Sylveon and go with my core of dreams, he snipes me. He snipes me, and it ruins my plans completely, because now I have to change. I have to change completely what I'm going to do. And that means that I've had to think on the fly, and I've just thought, okay, what happens when things go tits up, because I wanted Sylveon and Blaziken. I wanted that because I really, really enjoyed baton passing agilities with Blaziken into Sylveon on the back end of TBU. I loved it. It was so much fun. Sylveon with a agility and specs. Oh my god, that thing was pure evil. It was glorious, but obviously we've had to change that because now we can't use it. So what we did for our round 2 pick, we picked up Volcanion. Now Volcanion is a very, very strange mon indeed, being a fire water type. It gives decent synergy with Mega Latias, because the ice attacks that go to Mega Latias are going to be completely eaten alive by Volcanion, and obviously it doesn't work any the other way around. The only way it could possibly work the other way around is that electric types that go to Volcanion and ground types, obviously because of Levitate, aren't going to be taken by Mega Latios. So they have decent coverage on, like, decent synergy on one side, but it's not quite there. But the thing with Volcanion is that it is an absolute cannon. Like, oh my god, a base 130 stab Fire Blast with a Specs or a Life Orb coming off of this thing is going to sting. And its special move, Steam Eruption, is a 110 water type move, 110 power with a 30% chance to burn. It's Scold on steroids. Like, Scold went to the gym, did some squats, picked up the weights, and was just going ham. And someone had to tell it to stop. It wouldn't stop, so it started taking steroids, and now it's this monster. And the thing with Volcanion is, a lot of the things that wall Mega Latios, I would assume, because I'm still unsure of what actually walls a Mega Latios, apart from fairies. So a lot of the fairies, let's say, a lot of the fairies can't switch in to Volcanion. And a lot of the fairies, Volcanion is an easy switch into. So Volcanion, being the fire type, resists the Hyper Voices and the Moonblast, and doesn't really care too much about Toxic, and it can't get burnt by Will-O-Wisps. And then it can also hit back with either a Choice Specs Fire Blast, a Choice Specs Steam Eruption, or a Choice Specs Sludge Bomb / Sludge Wave, depending on what you want. It's a brilliant Pokemon, quite frankly. It also has the capability to go physical with moves such as Flame Charge to raise its speed. It gets Earthquake, Flare Blitz, Superpower, Explosion, Facade, Rock Slide, Stone Edge. What else does it get that could be of use? Gyro Ball with its base 70 speed. Not ideal, but it's a possibility. What else have we got here that's usable? Nothing really else on the physical side, but on the special side, its move pool gives it just enough of what it needs. Stuff like Flash Cannon, Focus Blast. What else have we got here? Fire Blast, Overheat, Steam Eruption, Sludge Wave, Hyper Beam if you want to go banterous, Solar Beam in the sun if I ever decide to bring that, Weather Ball for other weather conditions if I want to just bring like a rock type special attack in the sand or something. You never know, it could be a thing. It could be a thing. But we have all these options now because Mega Latios kind of gets stopped by fairies in some ways and not in others. But the fairies that do stop it, besides obviously Azumarill, because even Azumarill just gets blocked by a Sludge Wave, and Mega Latios can take it on with Thunderbolts anyway, but I digress. Most of the fairies that can deal with Mega Latios can't deal with Volcanion. That's pretty much my thought behind that, and Volcanion's going to be a very, very important member to pair up besides Mega Latios. It should be very, very interesting to use. But obviously, because we had Wheel, we had another pick straight after this, and we decided that we needed a steal. We needed a steal type, and looking at what had actually gone already by this point, we had things like Sizzle already going, Excadrill already gone, Jirachi already gone, Skarmory already gone, and we didn't really have many other options left that we would realistically want. I was considering Heatran, but obviously already having Volcanion is not a good idea to have a Heatran alongside it. And I decided that, in the end, Ferrothorn would suit the team very well. Now, Ferrothorn is a mon I haven't used too much, but it is a mon that I know a lot about, because I've played it a lot, and I know exactly how to play with it. And I have played with its pre-evolution, Ferroseed, back in 5th Gen NU, when the meta was still slightly different. But Ferrothorn, I know exactly what it does. It sits in, it takes hits, and it returns and sets up stealth rocks or hazards, and it gets out of there. If I need to, I can be a curse sweeper or a swords dance sweeper. I can subseed with it. I can set up rocks and spikes. If I ever feel like being the banterous man that I am, I can go for rock polish and be an absolute lord. I can thunderwave things. I can use gravity. I can self-destruct and explode on things. And let's have a look at the team synergy. So far, we have Mega Latios, Volcanion, and Ferrothorn. And Ferrothorn hates fire-type attacks with an absolute passion. And any fire-type attacks that are going to be going towards Ferrothorn, Volcanion and Latios eat up. Any fighting-type attacks that are going to be attacking Ferrothorn, Mega Latios pretty much eats them up. Any earthquakes and stuff that go to Volcanion are going to be eaten up by Latios because Latios doesn't really give a shit about them. Any electric-type attacks that go to Volcanion, Ferrothorn and Latios eat them up. Any rock-type attacks, Volcanion eats the... any rock-type attacks that go towards Volcanion, Ferrothorn eats them up. And you see the trend here. They kind of have a very good synergy together. Very good defensive synergy. Because with a Ferrothorn sitting beside two Pokemon that really, really don't give a shit about fire, it gives a bit of safety when using it. Obviously, the fire weakness is still a bit of an issue, but Ferrothorn is still bulky enough to the point where it can take certain fire moves. It can take all the rogue hidden powers that come its way. I don't think there's a hidden power fire that really does want to threaten to OHKO it, unless it's from something like an Alakazam with a Life Orb, and even then I'm not even sure. It needs to be a very, very strong hidden power fire to take out a Ferrothorn. And Ferrothorn is pretty much safe to do what it wants. Also, what Ferrothorn does give you is a physical switching. With Iron Barb's Rocky Head, you can pretty much strip something of like a 2/5, like 2/8, I don't know, like maybe a fifth of its health every time it attacks you. You can pretty much just strip things of their health when they attack you, and it's very nice to have something that can switch into physical attacks like that, because Ferrothorn then becomes a bit of a deterrent for physical attackers that would threaten Latios on the physical side, because its physical defense is not as high as its special defense. So they give a very good synergy together. Latios being more specially bulky and offensive, Volcanion being specially offensive but physically bulky, Ferrothorn being specially bulky and physically bulky. They work together. It's like a trio. It's like a triad. The triad of destiny that doesn't quite have a fairy in it. We do have 2/3 of a Dragon Fairy Steel Core. We have a Fire Grass Water Core now as well, because Volcanion counts as a fire and a water type, which is nice. Obviously, it's not a true Fire Water Grass Core, but it'll do for now. It'll do for now. But yeah, after this round, a lot of things went, and my plan for the next one, my next plan was going to be, well, I tell a lie, to be honest, because I said I was going to pick Sylveon and Blaziken first. Obviously, because I had a wheel, I thought I could get away with leaving Blaziken to this round. What I was going to go for was Starmie and Sylveon, because Starmie is a rapid spinner that can do incredible amounts of good, and I freaking love Starmie. And I would like an extra spinner on the team just to be able to force Mega Latios not to have to always run Defog on it. If I'm having to run Defog on my Mega Latios, that's always going to be a problem. Especially when Mega Latios wants to be offensive. It doesn't want to have to run support every week. It can run it if it needs to, but it doesn't want to all the time. So it's nice to have a spinner alongside Mega Latios just to relieve some of the pressure off of them. But what I also knew we needed was some kind of electric offense. Some kind of Volt Switcher here, because being able to Volt Switch out on some kind of threat and then go into something else that can threaten it is very, very nice. Like, momentum is just very nice alongside a Volcanion and a Mega Latios. Getting the matchup you want to force a situation you want is a very, very good thing. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely a fandabidoji. Anyway, well, I had a look to see what was left and all the electric types that had gone in the round before. And all the electric types that had gone before had been Raikou and Zapdos, Thunderous Incarnate, and Rotom-Mow. That's all of the electric types that had gone at that point. So I had free reign of the board for electric types apart from that, and I realised there was one very, very powerful one that had not gone drafted, and I needed to get this. I just couldn't resist. I wanted to save some budget, but I couldn't resist when I saw that this was still around. We got Thunderous Thirion, the absolute tank. Not even a tank, it's just an absolute monster. The thing has a 145 base special attack, coupled with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt. That's going to be hurting a hell of a lot of things. And the thing is, it has a very nice speed stat as well, with 101 being able to outspeed stuff like all of the Pixies, which is very nice. What else has a base 100? Basically all the base 100s. That's all you need to know. But this thing also has a decent physical attack at base 105, and it has some decent special bulk and some decent HP and a usable defense stat if I need to, but its ability, Volt Absorb, is very nice when coupled with a Volcanion that's not going to deal well with electric. So far I have a Volcanion with everything else that it's weak to, resisted by the rest of the team. And I have 3 things that just don't give a shit about electric, coupled with something that's weak to it. So that's very good so far. But the thing with Thunderous Thirion is it just hits so damn hard, and with a team that has a Mega Latios, you want to chip down before you can possibly sweep. Or even with, like, Flame Charge Volcanion. And if you can run Ferrothorn with Thunderous Thirion, you can get Spikes up and Stealth Rock, and then force the opponent to switch out in fear of a Stab Volt Switch on whatever they want to bring in to try and threaten it. And if you look at this thing's move pool, it has stuff like Agility, Bulk Up, Nasty Plot, Psychic, Sludge Wave for the Fairy, Superpower for the Steels that are going to resist, Steels aren't going to resist any electric moves unless they're a Magneton or an Excadrill or something, but it's always nice to have something to hit Steel types. So you basically have a lot of options for stuff that you can try and do. You have a lot of options with this thing. You can just... It even has U-turn if you don't particularly want to be using Volt Switch. Say the opponent has a team like mine, where everything doesn't give a shit about electric. Oh, but you have a lot of options with this thing. You have Nasty Plot if you want to just break. You have Agility if you want to try and possibly sweep. You have Bulk Up if you want to try and run some dodgy physical set. You have Taunt if you want to stop something setting up rocks or anything. You have Knock Off if you want to remove something's item. That's always very good. And you have Flash Cannon if you come up against some kind of silly rock type that doesn't give a shit about Superpower or Focus Blast. I can't really think of any examples. Maybe a Diancie. Yeah, come up against a Diancie. There you go. But Thunderous Thirion, Volt Switch around, get into something that can really threaten what the switch into it is. For example, like... Oh, it also has Grass Knot, just for the ground types, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, we have some good options with Thunderous Thirion, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how I can use this thing. I'm really looking forward to giving this thing a run out and giving it a try. Anyway, the next mon that we chose, because... And this is a pretty silly choice. We've been going very, very heavy with the spending at the moment. But the annoying thing was... Obviously, we got sniped of Starmie earlier, like I said just before. Let's have a look at all the other spinners that had gone by that point, because I still didn't have one. So the spinners that had gone at that point were Starmie, Excadrill, what else had gone? Mega Blastoise had gone, Hitmontop had gone at that point, I think. Yeah, Hitmontop had just gone because I was going to pick that. Fortress had gone, Donphan had gone, normal Blastoise had gone, so we were not left with a lot of options for spinners. And we needed one. We needed one very badly, because we were going to struggle otherwise. And we had a look at what was left. And me and Mr. Potato Jim had a little bit of a conversation, and he suggested a certain mon to me. And I replied to him by saying, I will never use this mon in all caps. 20 minutes later, I drafted it. That mon is Sandslash, and Sandslash is a little bitch. I've never enjoyed Sandslash. I love its design, but it's just kind of meh to me. I just don't enjoy it. It's bulky on the physical side. It can spin quite reliably if you need it to, which is kind of nice, I guess, but it's just always just been so meh to me. I mean, it can't... I don't know. I don't know why, but I thought that having a ground type as well would give us more immunity to electric, because Volcanion doesn't really give a shit right now. You have an electric type attack, you ain't Volt Switching out on me very much, because I have a Thunderous and a Sand Slash to not give a shit about your Volt Switch. But, okay, I've kind of bashed Sand Slash a little bit there. I'm probably being very unfair on it, because it can Rapid Spin, it does have Stab Earthquake, it does have Knock Off, it does have Poison Jab, it does have Stone Edge, Super Fang, Toxic, Swords Dance, all of these great moves. It has a very decent move pool for a spinner. It does counter on the physical side because it's fairly physically bulky. It can take a physical hit and counter away on it. But the only thing that really puts me off about using Sand Slash is the fact that you really don't want to be doing anything other than Rapid Spin with it. I wanted something like Hitmontop that could possibly have other things to do. Like with a Hitmontop, you could possibly run Swords Dance. It doesn't get Swords Dance, does it? Bulk up Mac Punch 1 week. Bulk up Technician Mac Punch and just rip holes through people. Hitmontop can do a lot of other things other than being a just intimidate Rapid Spin user. Whereas Sand Slash, on the other hand, kind of just wants to be an offensive Rapid Spinner with either Swords Dance or Leftovers or whatever. You pretty much just want to run Rapid Spin, Earthquake, Filler. It's damn it, Sand Slash does not want to really be doing much else. However, I did look at this thing a bit more and I'm like, it does have Sand Rush, which could be very useful some weeks. Like if I see there's a big weakness to ground, I could be tempted. Like it could possibly be a Sand Rush player for me if I need it to, and it also has Sand Veil. And I know that a couple of the teams have Sand Pokemon. I know that Tyranitar was indeed drafted by my good man Slyroh, which was kind of fun. Tyranitar was indeed drafted by Sly, and I could possibly run some kind of thing there. I don't know. I mean, yeah. We have Sand Setters taken in this, and maybe I could do things with Sand Slash. I don't know. I could even run Manual Sand 1 week if I wanted to, just, to be banterous. Because I am the banterous player. That is my title, and I'm sticking to it. But Sand Slash does kind of go well with the rest of this team, because Latios doesn't really do too well against Steel types, I guess, because it's a Dragon type and all. Sand Slash has Stab Earthquake. That's fun. So you could kind of just dent those Steel types with it. Thunderous doesn't really deal with ground types too well. Sand Slash kind of doesn't really care about ground types too much unless they're Landorus Incarnate, or they have some kind of, or they're a special ground type. But there aren't many of those. There are a few, but there aren't too many. And Ferrothorn obviously doesn't deal with fire types, which Sand Slash can kind of just Earthquake them. That's always fun. So Sand Slash kind of works well here, but the jury's still out on this guy. Honestly, the jury is still out. Now, you'll realise that I'm not giving these guys nicknames just yet. I will be giving them nicknames, and I'll be revealing it all at the end of the video, but for now, I just want to kind of keep the nicknames a little bit of a secret between me and the rest of the league. But yeah, we had a look and we realised that I had no idea what to do after this. I had no idea what to do with the rest of my draft plan. I had a spinner, I had a defogger, I had a setup sweeper, I had a wall breaker, I had hazards, I had setup with the wall breaker, I had defensive mon. I kind of had a lot that I wanted, but I was still not quite finished, and I realised that I kind of didn't really particularly have a lot to deal with, like things. I had a bit of a weakness to ice, because Sand Slash, Thunderous T, and Mega Latios really didn't like it. Ferrothorn doesn't mind it because it's neutral, and Volcanion resists it 4 times, but I would appreciate something else that can kind of come in on ice, and what we do have is a Hariyama as our next pick. Now, Hariyama is a mon I'm very comfortable with, and it's actually a mon I've got a lot of fun memories with because of that fated match with Slyroh where we agility passed with a float cell into Hariyama and swept him, which was absolutely incredible. One of the best moments I've had in draft format, to be honest. But yeah, the thing with Hariyama is it's a mon I'm very comfortable with. It gives you a physical threat, because a lot of my mons so far have been special. Like, Mega Latios wants to be special a lot of the time. It can be physical. We have, obviously, Ferrothorn, but that's not going to want to be a wall breaker a lot of the time. We have Sandslash, which is physical, but doesn't necessarily want to be a wall breaker either. It just wants the rapid spin. Now we have an option to actually try and hit something really hard. And with Thick Fat, Hariyama can switch into Ice and Fire, which is very useful. So yeah, another thing that doesn't give a shit about fire. We have Volcania, Latios, and now Hariyama. So Ferrothorn is kind of safe right now. Ferrothorn's like, oh, buddy, you got me, bro. You got me, bro. Thing of Hariyama, though. We don't necessarily have to be running it offensive all the time, because running offensive Hariyama is okay, but it's not... I say it's okay, it's friggin' awesome, because it's got a base 120 attack stat, which hits like a truck with stab close combat. But the thing with Hariyama is it's too slow to really make a lot of use out of that without some kind of agility pass. Ah, floatzel. No, but it can be fairly bulky with its base 144 massive fat HP stat, which hits nearly 500 at level 100. You can max out one of the defenses like I did against Raikou, where I used it as a dedicated Victini switch-in, and actually worked. No, Darmanitan switch-in, sorry. And it actually worked for us for a couple of times. And yeah, it can just pretty much hurt. It can hurt and it can take hits if needed to. It has access to some pretty interesting moves. Like, obviously, it gets the close combat, it gets the bullet punch, it gets bulk up, it gets fire punch, it gets fake out for priority, as well as bullet punch. It gets low kick, knockoff, iron head, whirlwind, whirlpool. If you want to be a very, very, very tricky bastard, you can run whirlpool toxic. It gets superpower if you don't want to run, if you don't want to lower your special defense for some reason. It gets rest if you want to rest of Chesto, which is possible. It does get recycle alongside that, I believe. No, it doesn't. It doesn't get recycle. Ignore me. It gets work up if you want to try and run surf with it or something. I don't know. You can run a natural gift of any type. You can run Force Palm if you're trying to get paralysis on something. It has Foresight if you want to try and hit a ghost one week. It has Counter if you want to take a physical attack and just smack it back. It has Belly Drum if you're feeling like you can take a fire hit and run a Salak Berry or something possibly. You never know. This thing could be an absolute monster for you, to be honest. Hariyama could be an absolute tank for me because it can break down a lot of steals. It can break down the rock types. It can break down a lot of things that resist anything else. Anything that doesn't resist it isn't going to appreciate taking a Hariyama close combat. That's just a matter of fact, and that's just a thing. Oh, Hariyama, you absolute lord. But anyway, the next one that we decided to go with alongside Hariyama, who is pretty much there just to be an absolute monster and take some ice-type hits that the other members of the team don't necessarily want to at the moment. Well, here's a mon in draft format that hasn't been drafted in the PPL before, ever. And that's mainly because people thought it was too expensive and didn't feel like it was worth it to put it on their team. However, Gengar over here is an absolute threat. Gengar is an absolute monster. Legitimately, Gengar is probably one of my favourite ghost types. Obviously, I can't go past the net, but Gengar is an absolute tank. Well, I say tank, it's an absolute threat, sorry. It has a base 130 special attack stat combined with Shadow Ball and Sludge Wave that is just going to pretty much decimate anything that doesn't resist it. And for the things that do resist it, namely Steel types and Bishop, because Bishop's a bitch, we have Focus Blast, which is just going to absolutely wreck anything that doesn't, you know, want to take the other moves. I don't know. But the thing with the Gengar is it's got a decent speed stat and it's got some very tricksy moves too. It has stuff like Disable, Destiny Bond, Knock Off if you ever want to be a man and run that 65 attack stat. It has Energy Ball for water types. It has Thunderbolt for also water types. It has Sucker Punch for priority. We have Substitute for substitute shenanigans. Will-O-Wisp, which is always fun. We have Dream Eater, which is always kind of fun to run, but I don't think I'll be running Dream Eater. We have Hypnosis if we want to try and put something to sleep. We have Infestation for trapping. We have Metronome for the banter. I don't know, I love Metronome. Anyway, the reason why Gengar works so well, I think, on this team is that, well, frankly, it spin blocks, which is always very fun. It may not be the best spin blocker, But if you can spin block with it, you immediately put the opponent under massive pressure because you have a Gengar staring them down in the face that's probably going to Sludge Bomb them, Focus Blast them, or Shadow Ball them and really do some damage. And Gengar itself is an absolute threat for a lot of teams. It sweeps a lot of people. Like, the thing I didn't mention about Mega Latios earlier is that it gets Tailwind. And Tailwind is a cracking move to have when you have physical threats and special threats like Gengar, Hariyama, Volcania, Thunderous that can really take advantage of this. They can take advantage of the couple of turns of extra speed and outspeed things that they wouldn't normally. For example, we can outspeed, say, possibly, I can't think of anything. Thunderous Thirion. We can outspeed a Thunderous Thirion with Gengar and bop it with a Shadow, with a Thunderbolt. We can outspeed Excadrill under the sand because it negates the Sand Rush, and we can kill it with a Focus Blast or a Close Combat from a Hariyama. But the team synergy at the moment is kind of just Gengar. I wanted to try it out to do things and stuff, and I think it can do things and stuff because it's a Gengar and it hits really hard. It has a great move pool and it just feels like it fit in, and obviously Gengar hasn't been drafted before, so we managed to get it for a cheaper price. But yeah, the draft went on, and a lot of things that I wanted had gone at that point, and I realised that in these last 4 picks, I needed to get myself, if possible, if absolutely possible, I would like to have got myself a Baton Passer, a Fairy, a Spinner, a Rock Setter, and something that can stop bird spam, plus a Cleric if possible. So that's 6 roles I'm trying to fill. 6 roles I'm trying to fill with 4 mons. That's not gonna be fun. That's not gonna be fun at all. But we decided to give it a crack, and there weren't many viable fairies that could really do a good job left. There weren't many baton passers left that were really quite good. There weren't many bird spam stoppers that, well, actually, to be fair, there were quite a few, so I didn't really think about that too much, but there weren't many decent clerics left. So I decided to go with a role that would probably get sniped if I didn't try and pick something for it now, and I decided on my round 8 pick to try and get myself Scyther. And we succeeded! We got ourselves Scyther, and Scyther is very, very good, because what it does do is it gives us both Swords Dance passing, Agility passing, it gives us priority with Quick Attack, and Technician, obviously, it's a Technician boosted Quick Attack, Technician boosted Aerial Ace and Wing Attack, Technician boosted Pursuit if it doesn't, you know what I'm saying. But what it does do is it gives us a lot of options for setup sweeping and baton passing and wall breaking if we need to with Technician, because it has a very good attack stat of 110, a good speed stat of 105, and decent defenses in defense 80 and special defense 80 and HP 70. And it's also compatible with Eviolite, so if I need to run a bulky Scyther for whatever reason, I can do, which is absolutely cracking. I can run a bulky Scyther if I need to. And the thing is, I don't need to. I can run Scarf with U-Turn for a momentum gainer, Banded with U-Turn to try and break some walls. If I wanted to, I could run Focus Sash for some reason, if I ever needed to. I could run Leftovers if I wanted a bit of health back. I could run Roost on it as well to get some health back. I can go Life Orb with the ability to switch up moves. I could go pretty much any kind of option you'd want. It gives me a lot of options, having a Scyther does, because it gives me a bit of extra momentum. I now have a Volturn core with Thunderous T and Scyther, which is cracking because they kind of really destroy each other's checks, apart from Thunderous not really dealing with Scyther not really dealing with rock types as well. Rock types and ground types as well as it could, but they do things and stuff and they can really put in work, hopefully. But I'm really looking forward to using Cyth, because obviously ShroomRaver used his Scyther incredibly well. He got it into top 10 of MVP in Season 2, where we finished 3rd and he finished 1st, which was absolutely cracking, and I'm really quite looking forward to trying out this guy, because it's a Scyther, and Scyther's cool. It's Gen 1 and it's better than Sizzle. I don't really have a preference between the two, to be honest, but Scythers are cool people. Oh, man. Anyway. The next mon we decided to go for was, we wanted a fairy type. We wanted a fairy type. It's been really, really important. Ever since we got sniped from Sylveon, we kind of put it on the back burner in hopes of trying to shape up a different looking team. This team is going to be a bit mishmash, but it kind of meshes together in a way that I didn't expect it to. So we wanted something that was able to be a fairy. And I was considering, to be honest, going with my mascot, Spritzee, and leaving it until last pick and using it as the meme, because it would have been a cleric, it would have been a trick room setter, it would have been really good for the team. But I didn't really have much of a physical kind of just tank. I didn't really have anything that can kind of switch in and do tanky stuff. Granbull can switch into a lot of things. Granbull can do tanky stuff. Granbull has heal well. Granbull has a base 110 attack stat. Granbull has access to stab player off. Granbull is a friggin' monster, and I'm really looking forward to using Granbull. The thing with Granbull is it completes our Dragon Fairy Steel Core. Ferrothorn, Latios, Granbull. And it's a bit of an unconventional one, but it can work, and it really, really could do. Because I told a lie about Granbull's attack stat. It's actually base 120, and that's pretty bloody huge. Oh my god, Granbull, why are you so strong? But if you look at this thing's move pool, it gets access to stuff like Close Combat, Crunch, Earthquake, Fire Blast if you ever need it for the coverage, but it also gets Fire Punch, which is probably better. It gets Outrage for the non-stab dragon memes. Play Rough, Power Up Punch if you ever need to use a pseudo like setup at some point. It gets Super Power, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, Super Fang, Iron Tail for other fairies, Iron Head I think it gets, Work Up if you ever want to try and, not use Power Up Punch. Alright, also gets a move that I'm really happy about it getting. It gets Focus Punch, which I didn't realise. And the thing with that is Granbull works very well as a sub-puncher, because a lot of things don't want to be switching into a Granbull, and a lot of things Granbull forces out, so Granbull has ample opportunities to switch in on something, threaten it out, set up a substitute, and then Focus Punch the incoming Steel type, or Earthquake the Poison type. Granbull, you're going to be great to use. I'm looking forward to you already. And shout out to my man Sinister Saberline. But obviously we needed some kind of fairy because Dragon Fairy Steel is a thing. Megalatios doesn't appreciate being a dragon when there's no fairy around, because ice and obviously other dragons still kind of just eat it alive. But Granbull also resists the dark that Megalatios does, and kind of just, does things and stuff against it. Oh my god, Granbull, you're going to be a monster. I feel like the physical presence of a Granbull is more than what Granbull can actually do, but Granbull is able to threaten a lot more out than it should do. I don't know, I love Granbull. But its abilities, Intimidate and Quick Feet, are the ones I'm pretty much really looking forward to using, because Quick Feet ignores status, well, not ignores, but it raises Granbull's speed by 1.5 times. So if you have 200 speed, it then becomes 300 with Quick Feet activated. Quick Feet sweeps could be a thing, I don't know. But Intimidate is just switch in and lower the opponent's attack, which is always very fun. But yeah, Scyther and Granbull were our wheel pick for that round, and we're still left with about 4 roles we need to fill. We needed a Rapid Spinner, a Cleric, something that stops bird spam, and damn it, what was the other role? I can't remember what the other role was. So Rapid Spinner, Cleric, Fairy, Bird Spam Stopper, and I can't remember what else we needed. But we had about, well, it might have been 3 roles, I can't remember, but we had a few roles we needed to fill and only 2 spots left to do it in. And just after Granbull was picked, in fact, Schady decides to go and pick Mega Pidgeot, which means that my team just kind of gets eaten by it, apart from Thunderous, but I don't want Thunderous to be my Mega Pidgeot switch in if I ever need to. I needed something that... I realised the Bird Spam was going to be a bit of a problem, because there was a Talonflame lurking about, there was a Togekiss lurking about, kind of less important, but, there was a Talonflame, there's a Mega Pidgeot about now, there's Mega Altari, I'm trying to think what else Bird Spams that was taken. Tornadus Eye with Hurricanes, What else? What else? There was a Noivern that was taken with Hurricane, which was a very, very interesting pick. But there was a couple of things that could bird spam, and flying type coverage is quite prevalent on some mons. Like, I know Brave Bird Skarmory is also a thing, because it doesn't really give shit about the recoil, and it has a decent attack stat, but I kind of really shat myself when I saw that Mega Pidgeot and just wanted another option against it, as well as Thunderous. I really shat myself against that Mega Pidgeot being taken. So I decided to go with another Stealth Rocker as well, and draft myself probably the best stop to it. And I got myself Gigalith. Gigalith, you monster. Gigalith, the man, the myth, the Gigamyth, the legend. The thing is absolutely incredible. I looked at this thing's stats and I saw the price it was at. It was 3 million. We only had 5 million left to try and fill as many roles as possible with 2 mons. Gigalith was a rock setter and a bird spam stopper. And the stats it has are friggin' insane. Base 135 attack, base 130 defense, base 80 special defense. Its speed is shite, but it has good defenses. It can take a hit and dish out some kind of megally strong attack afterwards. And the fact that Gigalith is only pure rock with sturdy, and sand force, but sturdy, with sturdy, means that it can take a hit from anything that kind of just threatens it, and then deal out a massive, massive blow back to it, because it's got an insane attack stat. Even with no investment, it hits at least about 150 something. Gigalith is an absolute tank. Like, it just stops birds dead. Talonflame can wisp it, but it still dies to a Stone Edge unless it's completely physically bulky. And even then, I can just go for like Stealth Rock and just threaten it out like that anyway. Talonflame and Mega Pidgeot and Staraptor and Thunderous Thirion and Tornadus Incarnate. Maybe not Tornadus Incarnate because Focus Blast is more prevalent on that. But Bird Spam and Poison Spam, not gonna be as much of a problem. And the reason why that works so well is because Bird Spam really kind of hurts my team, apart from Thunderous. And we now have something that can actually take flying type attacks. And we have something that has sturdy as well, which is very useful, because if there's a game that we need rocks up, we can guarantee we can get rocks up. We have a guaranteed way now of getting rocks up instead of having to hope that Ferrothorn doesn't, die to an attack. We can just run Gigalith with the sturdy, get the stealth rocks up, and then let it die, and then proceed to go for the rest of our game plan. We have a way of getting rocks up if we possibly need to. The other thing about Gigalith is that it does have Sand Force, which could be very, very useful. Because, like I said, there's a Tyranitar running around, and if we bring Gigalith against Sand, it has Sand Force, and we can just deal massive damage with our Stone Edges, and our Earthquakes, and our Iron Heads. And it's going to be fun times, and our Heavy Slams, obviously. Well, I'm looking forward to using Gigalith. I want to use the cannon out. I want to use this cannon. Anyway, this is pretty much near the end, because we only have one more pick. And that pick, my friends, had to be 2 million. It had to be a 2 million mon, because we only had 2 million left. And if we didn't pick a 2 million mon, we would pretty much have to just leave the rest of our money here. But what we decided to do was we decided that we were going to pick up a Cleric. A 2 million Cleric. And looking across the board, there wasn't too many of them. There was Wigglytuff. No. There was Spritzee, who we've already spoken about. And I was kind of worried, because there weren't a lot of Clerics left at this point. If we look across the 2 million mon list here, we have things like Chimecho, not really a good one. We have not really much else. To be honest with you, not really much else. We have Minun, I think, which gets Wish and Heal Bell. We have Fiona, I don't know if that does or not. And like I said, we obviously have Spritzee and Wigglytuff. But there was another mon that kind of caught my interest. Another little guy that was an NFE, so I was kind of hesitant over it, but then I decided to do some calcs. This mon, with fully special investment, takes 51% max from a Life Orb Latios Draco Meteor. That is crazy. And that mon is Lickitung. Lickitung takes 51% max from a Life Orb Latios Draco Meteor. Even with a white herb, that is about a 2.5% chance to OHKO. There is literally no chance in hell that is going to 2-hit KO, sorry, not OHKO, 2-hit KO a Lickitung with a Life Orb Draco from a Latios. It's crazy how bulky this thing is. It's crazy the amount of hits it can take. But the reason why I think Lickitung was just kind of fated to be on this team is we look at the rest of my squad. We have nothing that takes a ghost type attack. And then we have a Lickitung who's immune to them and incredibly bulky on the special side as well as on the physical side. They have the exact same physical defense and special defense. Exactly the same defenses on both sides. And this thing, we have a Gengar who's weak to Ghost. Everything else is neutral to it. And then Lickitung, who is completely immune to Ghost. And then we have probably the best special type Ghost attacker. Special attacking Ghost type mon in the format with Gengar. I can't really think of many other attacking Ghost types in the format. And looking around at what was taken, there aren't too many of them. I think Miss Magus was taken by someone, but that's about it. And that's not really a very strong mon because it only has a base 105 special attack, I think. I think it's only base 105. I think Miss Magus might have been taken by someone, I'm not too sure. But if it was, then that's literally the only special Ghost that we have to worry about. And I can't see it anyway. I know Miss Drevis was taken, but I don't think Miss Magus was. But anyway, like I said, we have pretty much the only Ghost type that could really have threatened this team in the draft. We have a mon that threatens our draft in the draft, which is absolutely mad, because we kind of got lucky there. Because if I know that we sniped Liam with Gengar, he wanted it next pick, and we managed to snipe him, but if we hadn't sniped him, that would have been really bad news, because Gengar would have just ran through us. But then again, it kind of wouldn't, because Lickitung is just sitting there. But the thing with Lickitung is, it gets Heal Bell, it gets Heal Bell, Refresh, Protect, Wish. It's a cleric. It's a cleric that also has access to insane coverage moves. If we have a look at Lickitung's coverage, it has some crazy moves. It has stuff like Knockoff, it has stuff like Fire Blast, Thunder, it gets Blizzard, it gets Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, it gets Body Slam for cheap paralysis, it gets Dragon Tail for phasing, it gets Earthquake, it gets Double Edge for even like a massively strong stab. It gets Hammer Arm, fighting type coverage, Knockoff, I don't know if I've mentioned that. It gets Knockoff, it gets Sword Dance if you want to run like a bulky attacker, bulky mono attacker at some point. It has Amnesia to raise that special defense even higher. It has Belly Drum. Belly Drum. Counter. Curse. Defense Curl for the banter. Dynamic Punch for the banter. This thing has some crazy moves. Iron Tail for fairies. Iron Head for fairies. Work Up if you want to run like a mixed attacking bulky one with Eviolite. This thing can really, really, really do some work on this draft. And this isn't like Bayleaf all over again. This isn't like Blunt. I've done the actual calcs for Lickitung. I did a few favourable calcs for Bayleaf, and it didn't work out so well. But I've done a lot of calcs for Lickitung. This thing is so damn bulky. You don't see it, but it has a base 90 HP, a base 75 defense, and a base 75 special defense. It is so damn bulky. It's ridiculous. I don't quite understand how this thing managed to get so bulky with stats like those. They're not good, but they're not bad, but they're certainly not the best Eviolite using stats, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant because this thing also gives us a reliable cleric as well. Lickitung is going to be a reliable cleric. If I want it to be a cleric, it's going to be one. It's bulky enough to do that. And this thing actually is very versatile. So for a 2 million pick, Lickitung fits in very well with the rest of the team. Very well indeed. Because the fighting type attacks that are going to harm it and threaten it out, we have Mega Latios, we have Thunderous, we have Sandslash who doesn't really give too much of a crap about fighting. We have Gengar who's immune to it, Cyth 4 times resist, Gramble, Intimidate plus resist. Lickitung has some good synergy. And like I said, it works the other way around. Lickitung takes the ghost type attacks, but yeah, that's the team. And we've come away with something that I'm actually very, very proud of. It's a team that very, very much has a very good potential. I'm really looking forward to seeing if I can put work in with this. But anyway, the final draft for Birmingham Spritzee is Mega Latios Saltator. Wow, I'm not going to read them like that. I'm going to read them the other way. Saltator the Mega Latios. Or Saltator, however you want to pronounce it. Dugary the Volcanion. Endor the Ferrothorn. Larson the Thunderous Thirion. Chicharito the Sandslash. Parkin the Hariyama. Ridgewell the Gengar. Iwisa the Cyther. Barton the Gramble. Kante the Giggle. And Young Tongue himself, Lickitung. But that's Birmingham Spritzee for this season, boys, and I'm so damn happy to be back in the PPL. I'm ridiculously happy, in fact. Like, I didn't think that I thought I was falling out of love with draft format, but I'm really not. I love it. I didn't think I'd be so happy about this, but I am. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think of my draft down below. Let me know what you actually think of it, and I would really appreciate your input on this. So, thank you very much for watching. Let me know where you think we'll finish. Let me know what you think of my draft, and let me know what you think of the nicknames and all that jazz and stuff. And just, yeah, hype for Season 2. Season 4. Hype for Season 4 of the Pokemon Premier League Division 1. So anyway, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day and a great life. And I will see you later. Take care of yourselves.